Let's talk about sleep for mothers today. We usually talk about sleep for babies and children, and mothers and parents frequently come to me and ask me to create a program to help their kids learn to sleep through the night. Their infants or toddlers sleep through the night, or sometimes their toddlers and older kids either sleep through the night or sleep in their beds. So that's one of the types of topics parents often come to me with. They often come to me asking me to help them create a program to help them meet their goals at work, or to help the family and the home. But mothers very often overlook themselves as a priority. And one of the areas that gets grossly overlooked is getting enough sleep. So I'm Dr. Ellen, and I'm really delighted to come to you today with a topic that's so important, so overlooked, and so essential. Mom, are you getting enough sleep? So I'm going to be talking about some of the causes why mothers don't get enough sleep and some of the solutions. So stay until the end. I'm going to give you 5 important keys for moms to get better sleep. First, let's talk very briefly about sleep. So sleep is an important time where the body heals and it regenerates. It refills our fuel tank of energy. And that's really important. It's essential because if we wake up in the morning and we haven't had that opportunity for our bodies to repair and regenerate and refuel, you may find during the day that you have trouble focusing, or you have trouble thinking or making decisions. You may feel that you're stressed or that you have a short fuse, or at the end of your rope, you may be anxious and stressed and irritable. And poor sleep can cause anxiety and depression. So for many reasons, sleep is important. And certainly, if as a mom, you want to show up your best to do all the things that are important for you to do, sleep is an essential ingredient in being able to show up at your best. So again, I'm going to talk to you about some of the problems in getting sleep for moms and some solutions. I'm going to be giving you 5 key strategies to improve your sleep. And I'm going to make a few comments and points first about mothers and sleep. So first, if you find yourself laying down at night when you go to sleep, and you find yourself either thinking about the problems of the day you've just been through, or starting to worry about the day ahead of you, about tomorrow, when you lay down to go to sleep, that is not the time to stress and think about problems of the day or concerns for tomorrow. When you lay down to go to sleep, it's a time to rest, relax your body, take some deep breaths, really get ready for a healing night's sleep. And I'll be talking more about how to do that if you're finding that difficult. And also, when it's time to go to bed, it's not the time to think, oh, I'll slip in one last activity. I really want to get this done. Or, oh, before I go to sleep, I have to do this, and to take away from your sleep. So resist the temptation. I tell moms this, resist the temptation to steal from your sleep. Sleep is really important. And another point is, remember that sleep and rest for mothers is not selfish or extra or extraneous or optional or a luxury. Sleep is a basic part of health. It's part of our physical health, our emotional and mental health. And again, if you wake up in the morning and you haven't had enough sleep, it's hard to show up your best, to do all the things that you want to get done for everyone and everything in your life that we usually want to do. I want to go over 2 terms with you that will help in this discussion. And one is the term Momsomnia, We've all heard about insomnia, trouble sleeping at night. And the term momsomnia has been coined because, again, mothers often have trouble sleeping. And the reason is we have so much on our plate, so much to do. And the potential for stress and stressing is so strong. Mothers often live in the stress cycle during the day, and often that continues to the nighttime also. It's really hard to escape that cycle. I did some videos recently about habits and about some habits that we have are good and some habits are not good. And stressing in the stress cycle is a habit that doesn't serve us well, especially when we're living in the stress cycle at night. Sometimes just knowing that can help mothers and parents just forget about stress and stop thinking about it and relax more at night. And if that works for you, just knowing that, that's great. If you do need more help, more strategies, more assistance, you're welcome to reach out to me. I do work with individualized strategies for people where the general strategies aren't enough. And very often the general strategies help. And it's a matter of how much they are helping. So again, I am available if you'd like to go further into this. The second term I want to talk to you about is bedtime revenge procrastination, or sleep procrastination, as it's also termed. And what that basically means is you think when it's time to go to bed, you think, wow, I've been taking care of my kids and my work and the house all day. I have some time free now. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to binge some TV and scroll on my phone and do all the things for myself that I didn't get to do during the day. And that's an example of revenge bedtime procrastination. It's really saying, I have revenge. I'm going to retaliate against bedtime. I'm not ready to give up my time in this day. I want to do for myself. And again, I understand how we might think that way, but when we do think that way, a lot of mothers tell me that thinking that way, they can sit with their phones scrolling and they can be doing that for hours mindlessly without realizing the time that's going by and the sleep that they're losing, or binge watching TV, or whatever else, crossword puzzles, or whatever else you're choosing to try to do to relax, but you're really stealing from your sleep time. And when I hear mothers tell me that that happens, it reveals to me that you're not getting enough me time in your schedule. And that's a completely different issue. It's a very important one. But if you do find that's a problem, that's something that you have to solve as well. And again, if it's an issue for you, it's something that I am happy to speak with moms about, and I do work with mothers to do. So again, me time gets fit in during the day. Me time is not sleep time. Sleep time is sleep time. And we really need to protect our time to go to bed, wind down, rest, and sleep. So if you think you're not getting enough sleep, I recommend to the mothers that I work with to create a sleep log to really find out about your sleep patterns. So next to your bed, keep a pad or some paper and a pen. And when you get into bed, write what time you're going to bed. And when you wake up in the morning, write down what time you woke up in the morning. And write down if you have some sense of how long it took you to fall asleep. So if you were turning and twisting with stress in your bed for 2 hours, you'll likely remember that for 2 hours before you fell asleep. You'll likely remember in the morning. I remember looking at my clock and it said whatever, and I was still awake. Or you may get some sense and feeling and think, I think I fell asleep maybe 10 or 15 minutes after I went to sleep. So if you have a general idea of when you might have fallen asleep, note that down. So for each day, you're going to have a log of when you went into bed at night, when you woke up the next morning, and if you have a sense of when you might have fallen asleep. And that's really helpful to look at a pattern over a week or two or even more to figure out how much sleep you are getting. And if you're feeling tired, you'll need more sleep. And the best suggestion is to go to sleep a little bit earlier. So I want to talk about 5 keys for sleep for mothers. And the first is have a consistent bedtime. Just like we do for our kids, we know what time our kids are going to sleep. Be accountable to yourself. So, for example, if your bedtime is 10 o'clock, then 10 o'clock is when it's time that you should be in your bed. You're not going to say to yourself at 10 o'clock, oh, let me slip in 1 or 2 extra things that I'd like to get done. No more slipping in extra things. Sleep time needs to be sleep time, and you need to be accountable for your sleep time without slipping in the extra work activity or an extra thing to prepare for your child or an extra thing for your home. Sleep time needs to be sleep time with accountability on your part. You need to know what time you want to get to bed each night. And just like with our kids, no screen time 60 to 90 minutes before you go to sleep. Again, for the same reason, melatonin and blue light rays. And those rays can interfere with the sleep cycle. So again, screen time is not something you want to do to wind down. And that brings me to number 2. Like with kids where you have a bedtime routine before they get into bed, you should have a bedtime relaxing, winding down routine also. So maybe half an hour before your bedtime, you might even want to set an alarm to remind you that you should be winding down. You can go get washed up and brush teeth and get into your pajamas or a nightgown and have some relaxing nighttime ritual or routine. Maybe it's a relaxing book, or maybe some calm, relaxing music. Not get up and dance music. That's music for the daytime. Again, we want activities that are really calming and relaxing at nighttime. And again, a routine or a ritual, just like with the kids for you, to help you wind down and relax. And you're probably going to dim the lights to help you wind down. Number 3 is don't be in the stress cycle at night. Again, if you find yourself laying down and ruminating about the day that just went by, or starting to worry already about your activities for the next day, that's not a good precursor to a good quality night's sleep. And so you need to try to get out of that cycle. Again, if that's a problem, I do have customized solutions, and it usually does require customized, personalized solutions if that's a problem that you can't solve with, general videos. So again, I am here for you. If you need some assistance, it is my goal to help empower mothers and make you stronger and more resilient and able to get through the challenges of motherhood. And number 4, I do tell mothers all the time, remember that sleep is not optional, it's not selfish, it's not extra or extraneous or a luxury. Sleep is important for our basic health, our minds, our focus, and we need to prioritize sleep. Just like we prioritize everybody else in our lives, sleep needs to be a priority that we are accountable to. And number 5 is avoid bedtime revenge procrastination. It's the stealer of sleep. It's tempting. And again, bedtime revenge procrastination is really tempting because we think about how much we did and focused on everybody else and everything else during the day. And it's why when we have some moments to ourselves at night, where we don't have a kid in front of us, or a client or a boss in front of us. We actually have a peaceful moment just ourselves. We get tempted to fall back into the trap of getting something else done of our priorities during the day, or we get tempted to lie in bed and be stressing about all of these. So again, no more slipping in one last or two last activities, and no more lying in bed stressing. It's really time to give yourself peace and calm and rest. And you can lay in bed and try to breathe deeply, to count your breaths if that helps, to think of a relaxing scene if that helps. And again, if you do want to and wish to reach out to me, it is something that I deal with parents to help. It's really important to take care of yourselves. And again, I talk about how parents often come to me with priorities to help their kids sleep through the night or sleep in their beds, or to help them with a work strategy, to get a promotion, or to get a new job, or to help with the family or home around the house. And so what I try to do with the families and parents that I work with is really take a full scope, a full picture of everything that's going on. And that's what mothers and parents tell me is really helpful and makes the difference. They sometimes tell me, for example, moms will tell me, I reached out to a marketing expert to help me with my business. And now I find that impinged on something else and my work-life balance is a mess, or something else is out of sync. So when you do individual help, it very often puts something out of sync in a different part of your life. And I do like to tell mothers and parents that the good part of working with me is we can deal with a lot of issues for your children, sleeping or developmental issues or learning or discipline questions. We talk a lot about home and family life, about work life. And we always look at the full picture, how changing one thing affects other things, because I always want you to come out ahead in everything. And again, one of the key components for all of this is getting good sleep, getting the right amount of sleep and the right quality of sleep for you, Mom, because you're important and you need to be a priority. So again, if I can be of help to you, feel free to reach out. If this was helpful, please give a thumbs up and please share it. I think this is an important topic that I'd like to get the message out to other people. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you'll know when I come out with other videos. And as usual, I'll be back in 1 week, next week, with another topic for you. So until then, be strong, be empowered, and let's talk again together soon.